Normally with a Brandon Sanderson book, I smash through the last third, but in this case with Words of Radiance, I had to make an exception and deliberately took my time because, to be honest, I did not want the book to end. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're with Chris, and today I'll be bringing to you part 5 and wrap up of my epic reading vlog for Words of Radiance by Mr. Brandon Sanderson, because I am done, I am finished, I love the book, and it is by far the best book I have read this year, except maybe for The Way of Kings. Now this part is going to be the most difficult to talk about because so much has happened that anything I say really could lead very easily to a spoiler or two, so I'm going to try and keep it as vague as I can, so I won't be able to go into too much detail. I might save that for a potential spoiler chat down the track. Okay, so with part 5, it's all about the final battle, the discovery of the mythical tower city of Urithiru, hidden within the Shattered Plains. There are character reveals, there are story arcs coming to completion, there are evolutions, and all sorts of stuff going on where you get answers to your questions. I think one of the standouts for me is how well Kaladin's and Shallan's story arcs in particular wind up. To me, they've reached a very, very satisfactory point before the next book, and it was, you know, you get a sense of closure there. They've gone through a lot, both of them in this book, to get to where they are, which is really, really fantastic. Now, one of my favourite moments in the book, this was incredible. We have a particular character here who I will not name, who overcomes personal struggles and goes right to the edge of defeat and comes back with a triumph in one of the most goosebump-inducing scenes I have ever read about. It is a triumphant return, and it just gives you chills reading those pages, which I'm not going to reveal in this video. An example I will give you though would draw a parallel to Marvel's Thor movie starring Chris Hemsworth. You know how he gets exiled to Earth by Odin and has his powers stripped, right? And then he tries to pull out the hammer and he can't, and screams up into the sky and goes through a fair portion of the movie before he gets his powers back. Right, so one of those scenes where the lightning, the hammer lands in his hand, and the lightning strikes the hammer, and he lights up with lightning, and you see his armor being built around him, and you just get chills in that scene. That is something similar to what happens here, and it is just absolutely fantastic. You were hoping it would happen, and when Brandon Sanderson delivers that to you as a reader, you have to look up and go, oh my god, that was unreal, that was amazing. So very, very good moment, probably one of my favourite moments in the whole book. Okay, the archaeological aspects of the book are very, very good in terms of the city of Urithiru. Shallan plays a big part in locating this mythical city, and the lead up to that is brilliant on how she actually achieves it, and she is going to go places, that girl, and her character arc is just incredible throughout this book. I thought the plot involving what will happen in the future with the leadership of the kingdom was wrapped up very well and resolved quite well, and how that came about was very, very clever in what Brandon Sanderson did there. So it was yeah, a close call. And Shallan's rise within the kingdom as well to a position of power is very, very satisfying to read about as well. Now, the fact that a certain character will return was a bit of a surprise for me, and a key character who I thought was gone is now back, so I was really, really relieved about that. This character in particular, who I will not name, I have a real soft spot for, which was fantastic to have this character return, because I thought this character was gone for good, and I'm glad I was wrong. Now, the very ending of the book is very, very cool. There is things aren't resolved yet with certain characters, and there is a character that will make a return in Oathbringer, which was interesting to read about because I thought they were done for. And you know, I'll use Brandon Sanderson's term RAFO, R-A-F-O, read and find out. So that's what I'll be doing when I read Oathbringer, whenever that will be. But all in all, I loved every page. The word building and the lore was brilliant, as per usual, in true Sanderson style. Shallan's flashbacks were a standout for this one. How he told her story in strategic locations in the book was fantastic, and there was a hell of a twist with her story as well. And there was, I can't even tell you, but there were moments there where you thought, oh my God, this is absolutely huge. The ramifications of this, it is a bombshell. It is shocking and just very interesting to read about her backstory. We got the same thing with Kaladin in The Way of Kings. That was brilliant. I think in this book that Shallan's backstory was a little bit better, in my opinion. And of course, I think Oathbringer will be all about Dalinar's backstory, which I can't wait to read about. So there you go. So I'm going on to Oathbringer next, which hopefully I'll do in July, maybe sooner, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm going to get into a bit of Mistborn era 2 before I do start Oathbringer, just to brush up on what's been happening in that era. And in the immediate future, I'm going to be smashing out Edge Dancer, the novella, which you can read straight after Words of Radiance, and that will feature the character of Lift, who I'm captivated by. She makes an appearance in Words of Radiance and in one of the interludes, and I just want to find out more about her and how she came about, because she's a fantastic character to read about. She did not get a lot of page time in the interlude. It was only a very short interlude, but it wasn't enough, because you immediately get attached to this character, and the way in which she draws her power is very, very original and very kick-ass, and she would make a very good addition to a certain group of characters moving forward. So there you go, that is all I have got for my part 5 wrap up of my epic reading vlog for Words of Radiance. Just going through this and not being able to tell you things is a little bit frustrating, and I think what I might do is a spoiler chat, which at the time of filming this I've gotten some notes down, so it is going to happen. I'm pretty confident, because you know, I might reach a different audience as well who have read the book, so I can compare notes and they can agree or disagree or what have you. And I just want to gush about the book, so it'll probably be a bit longer video. I won't talk about absolutely everything, but I will talk about all the main points and all the moments that stood out for me in the book, which should be good. So give me about a week or two to get that all together, and I will have that to you. But thank you very much for sticking with me throughout the vlog. I really enjoy this format, how I can break down a big book into smaller parts and talk about each part without reviewing the whole book, so that I don't forget things. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. Offer up any feedback below. I'll always respond to that, and I'll promise to deliver the best content I can. But until the next video, guys, which will not be long at all, happy reading.